Hey guys, what's up, what's up, what's up? We had a lot of our amazing viewers request to do a live on different times and different days, so we just wanted to see who was on and to give you guys an opportunity to ask us any relationship questions. How you guys doing? Today is Wednesday. Hey Kylie, thanks so much for joining. Just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to join our live, see if you guys have any relationship questions. We're happy to answer anything. We want to create a safe space for you guys. If you guys are watching this live, please hit fire emoji in the chat. If you are watching this back later, also, we'd appreciate a fire emoji in the chat so we know how many people are watching this back afterwards. How you guys doing? What's up, Kylie? What are you up to? You guys have any relationship questions for me? We did get an anonymous submission earlier that I'm gonna read out to you guys. Let me get this to load. Okay. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, we got an anonymous submission. It's in the description for the video. You can join. Or you can send us your question in the live. Okay, so we got a submission that says that my boyfriend liked his ex's bikini pics and he said that it was just to support her self-esteem. Should I believe him or send him back to the streets? That's a really good question. Liking your ex's bikini pics to support her self-esteem is really not his responsibility anymore, so that would make me very uncomfortable. So I would definitely have a conversation with him to let him know it's inappropriate before sending him to the streets. I think he deserves a fair chance, right, chat? All right, moving on to the next submission we got. Unless you guys have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Somebody said, we've been talking for 3 months. He still hasn't asked me out. Is this a slow burn or am I just getting slow cooked? That's a really good one. We've been talking for 3 months. I think that maybe he's just getting ready to know you. You know, I think that 3 months is around sort of the time that maybe he's ready to be exclusive, or maybe he needs a little bit longer. I don't think that you should freak out just yet. What do you guys think? Yep, definitely. I agree. Give him some time, a little bit. Only 3 months isn't really that long. All right, moving on to the next anonymous submission that we got. It says, so she only texts when she's sad, broke, or bored. Am I her emotional support situationship, or just am I really bad at setting boundaries? That's a really good question. I think that she's using you as her emotional support, and then I also think that you are bad at setting boundaries. So I think it's a little bit of both. Yep, Kylie says red flag, 100% red flag. Definitely. So what I would definitely recommend is setting some boundaries and maybe giving her more clear expectations that she only texts you when she's sad or broke, and that you're looking for something more meaningful, so that way you both aren't wasting your time. Yep, Kylie says both. Definitely both, for sure. Anyway, today's Wednesday. What are you guys up to? If you guys have any anonymous submissions, you can send them in through the link, or you can also send us a message in the live. Yep, Kylie says she does not respect you. I would definitely agree with that. She definitely doesn't respect you. I'm sorry to tell you. All right, moving on to our next anonymous submission. Thank you guys so much for the fire emojis. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are here. I want to create a safe space for you guys. All right, the next one said, he said he loved me and I really thought we were going somewhere. But then he ghosted me for 3 weeks. Is this a new form of cardio or what's going on? That's a good one. We actually did a video on ghosting, so it's on our channel. You can check it out. But I would definitely recommend, if he said he loved you and he ghosted you for 3 weeks, you guys are already broken up. I'm sorry to tell you. I think that you should block his number and move on, babe. Block, bless, and bounce. That's what we do here. All right, moving on. Do you guys have any other submissions? You can let me know. Otherwise, I'll read the next anonymous submission that we got in. Okay, so the next question that we got was, I caught him watching how to lie to women videos on TikTok. Is that even a thing? He says it was a joke. Should I laugh or change my locks? I really don't think that's funny. I don't really think that's a joke. So I would definitely start moving forward to the changing my locks part. For sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. All right. Thank you guys so much. If you guys are joining us now, you can hit fire emoji in the chat. That way I know you're here. Otherwise, you can send us a fire emoji later if you watch this back later. We're just opening up the floor. We're going to go live a few times during the week to see if we can catch some of our different viewers that are all over the country. And be here to answer any relationship questions that you guys have. All right. Moving on to the next one. Says, she told me she's not ready to commit, but then got mad when I went on a date with somebody else. Is this a situationship or a Twilight Zone? Situationship, and she's jelly, my friend. Sorry to tell you. Oh, we got someone from Kylie. Kylie said, my sister let her boyfriend control everything she has. Even though she's a breadwinner, he's unemployed and plays video games all day. I have to tell you, the most annoying thing to me is when a man plays video games and his family or wife or girlfriend is struggling. You know, if you're playing video games, you bet your ass that you're a millionaire. Otherwise, don't waste my time. Kylie says, what should she do? Should she needs to set boundaries because she wants to stay with him? Absolutely. She absolutely needs to set boundaries. She needs to be very clear about setting her boundaries, and she needs to give him a time limit. And if he's unemployed, I would cut the internet off. Goodbye. Definitely, because if she keeps tolerating, he's going to think it's okay. And then nothing's ever going to get better. Thanks for sharing, Kylie. I'm sorry your sister's going through that. All right, moving on to our next... Oh, hold on. Kylie says his family thinks it's fine and she should do everything. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. That's terrible. His family thinks it's fine. Of course his family thinks it's fine because, you know... I bet you his mom does all his laundry and does everything for him too, and now he expects her to do it. Thank you so much for sharing that in the chat. I really appreciate it. All right, moving on to our next submission. Says, I'm 24 and he's 42. Oh, hold on. Kylie said, what boundaries did she set? She needs to give him that he has a week or two to get a job and that he needs to start contributing. Otherwise, she's moving out. And if it's her house, then she needs to kick him out and file an eviction. I don't know if they're dating or just married, but... Oh, you said boyfriend. Okay. She needs to start taking some serious steps to make sure that he understands that if he doesn't get a job and he doesn't do... contribute towards the household, that the internet's getting shut off. He needs to get an electronic slap, and she needs to leave him. If he's grown, which I'm assuming that he is, he needs to get a job to provide for the family, and he needs to do better. And honestly, some guys like that never grow up, so she needs to leave him. Okay, moving on to our... I hope that helps, Kylie. Moving on to our next submission. It says, I'm 24 and he's 42. He says, I'm so mature for my age, but won't stop quoting Andrew Tate. Is this mentorship or manipulation? I'm gonna go with both, and that's too much of an age gap for me. I'm sorry. You're just barely in your 20s. You just graduated high school not that long ago, and he's already in his 40s, mid 45s. Yeah, no. Sorry, I have no advice for you, unless you're trying to marry rich. That's not a bad idea. Anyway, moving on to our next anonymous submission. It says, I'm a 30-year-old dating a 21-year-old. He's hot, but he thinks paying bills is a government scam. Am I a cougar or am I just tired? You're both. You're a cougar and you're tired. Yep, Kylie says, ew, Andrew. Yeah, yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Thank you guys so much for the anonymous submissions. I really appreciate you guys. If you're just now joining, please ask us your relationship questions. You can submit it into the anonymous link in our video description. It's on our channel as well. Or you can also send us your relationship questions in the chat. We'd love to answer them for you. We do have a degree in psychology, so we would love to be here for you and put our degree to good use. Thanks so much for joining. If you're still here, send us some fire emojis in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to move on to our next one. Our next anonymous submission. I'm 40 and he's 27. He says that I'm the fun phase after the divorce. Should I ride it out or run before I'm a midlife crisis souvenir? Ah, that's a good one. That's a really, really, really good one. If it's a fun phase after divorce, you definitely are a midlife crisis souvenir, so you need to go. Not that there's anything wrong with that if you weren't looking for something serious, but it sounds like you're kind of upset about it, so I would definitely leave that situation. Because I don't think it's going to get any better. They just got out of a marriage. They're definitely going to be, you know, wanting to live their free life. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it sounds like you want something more meaningful, and I don't think they're ready for that. They just got out of a marriage, so they want to live their free will. Sorry. Anyways, hey Kylie, thank you guys so much for the fire emojis in the chat. If you guys are joining us, please answer. In the chat, if you guys have any questions, W in the chat. What does that mean? W in the chat. When in the chat? Question in the chat. When in the chat? What does that mean? Okay, today is Wednesday. It's just a random Wednesday. We wanted to jump on and see our viewers, see if you guys had any video requests. We have a few. Got a little bit delayed, but they should be coming out really soon. We're really excited to share those with you guys. If you guys have any questions, relationship advice, we'd love to answer them. Oh, win in the chat. Kai says win in the chat. Okay. Anyway, moving on to the next submission. It says, I'm 19 and I'm dating a 32-year-old. Yikes. He makes me feel safe, but he also said that college is a scam and I should drop out. Is that love or a trap? I don't necessarily think that it's a trap. I can't tell you if it's love, but I can tell you in my opinion, I think not all college is a scam, but a majority of college is a scam. Because most of the time, after your tuition is said and done, after all those years and interest and loans and everything, it's usually a lot more than what your annual salary is. Let's be so for real. So I would definitely say he's probably got a little bit of a point. Anyway, I'm so glad that you guys were able to join us. If you're watching now live, you can send us some fire emojis in the chat. If you are going to watch us back later, if you guys have any questions about relationships, we'd love to answer them for you. You can send us a message. We'd love to answer it for you. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kylie, for joining. I really appreciate you guys for joining. We're so glad to be here. We wanted to get on for a few minutes and see how it went. If you guys have any questions you'd like us to answer for any relationship advice, we do want to use our degree in psychology, so please ask us. We want to be here for you and create a safe space for you guys. If you're just now joining, please make sure that you hit like on our video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. It allows us to keep creating awesome content for you guys. We have a lot of cool videos coming out. If you have any questions, please ask us in the chat, or you can send the anonymous submission. We'd love to answer it. Otherwise, we're going to move on to our next anonymous submission. It says, thank you for submitting this, by the way. It says, I caught him cheating. He said it didn't count because we weren't technically exclusive. Excuse me, we've been together for 8 months. Am I dumb or dating a lawyer? What do you mean you weren't technically exclusive? If you've been together, then that means that you're together. So, no. Definitely not. You're definitely not dumb. Kylie says, how do you attract good guys instead of weirdos? That's a really good question. How do you attract good guys instead of weirdos? I feel like a lot of that has to do with like going back to like self-affirmation and having like a big self-value of yourself first. You know, if your vibe that you're giving out is like, I just want anyone, and then you'll get you anyone. You know, weirdos sniff out desperation like sharks that smell blood. You know, shift that energy to, I'd love to get a good guy, but I'm good either way. You know, be content being single. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, and don't entertain weirdos just because you're bored. And trust me, we all get bored. Weirdos often show up in glitter. Don't let a, you're so different guy trick you into those trauma bonds, okay? Block early, block often, and boredom is not a reason to reply. Okay? Don't get weak. Definitely look for a guy that shows consistency, not chaos. If his potential looks like a DIY project, that's probably not your man. That's a headache on layaway, and you may not even make your money back. So, I don't know. I couldn't personally recommend that. I've been down that road way too many times, and it never really works out. Thank you for that question, Kelly. If you're just now joining and you have any questions, please let us know. We'd love to put our psychology degree to good use for you guys. All right, moving on to our next anonymous submission that we got. They want to know how to set boundaries because they're having issues. Okay, that's no problem. Setting boundaries, you need to, you know, start off being clear and awkward first. There's no problem with that, and it's important that you set boundaries early and often. And anyone who resists, they're probably not the one for you. They're just a red flag, and nobody's really interested in that anymore these days. All right, we're gonna stand here for a few more minutes. We just want to check in with our viewers, see how you guys were doing, give you guys any relationship advice. We're so glad to be here for you guys. All right, we just got another anonymous submission. Gonna read this to you guys. Thank you guys for submitting this. They want to know what to do if you just found out that you got cheated on. Okay. So my advice to you is if you just got cheated on, the first thing you need to do is you need to breathe, okay? Because your reaction, you're not going to be able to process things in a right mind, you know? Oh, we just got something from Kelly. 1 second. My friend's boyfriend keeps talking bad about her, but won't believe me. She dropped me even though she believes him. Should I try to fix things or leave it alone? That's a really good question, Kelly. Thank you for asking. My personal opinion would be that while she's still with him, I think that you need to give yourself space in the relationship, because the more that you complain about him and the more that you tell her that he did all these things, the more that she's going to get mad at you and push you away because she doesn't want to admit that her boyfriend's a POS. So I think she needs to kind of find out on her own. If you've already told her and you have a clear conscience and you've told her that he's like that, then there's something else that you could do. I would not try to fix things because it's not your responsibility to fix. I would leave it alone, and she needs to find out for herself. That would be my advice. Hope that helps, Kylie. Okay, moving on. If you just found out they cheated, breathe, don't text, and don't threaten, and don't go full CSI yet, right? Your rage is valid, but clarity is way better than chaos. You're not dumb. They're just being shady. So give yourself some grace. Don't ask why now. You need to ask what now. Cheaters will give you an Oscar-worthy performance. It didn't mean anything. I was drunk. I'm sorry. You've been so distant lately. Translation, red flag. So common excuses and what they really mean. It was a mistake. No, a mistake is forgetting your keys. This is repeated deception, okay? Another one, they say, I didn't want to hurt you. Then why'd you apply for a pain delivery position? Seriously, that was a good one. They meant nothing. Okay, then why risk everything? Seriously. You know, should you take them back? I don't know, ask yourself. Do they take real accountability, not blaming you or minimizing or saying that, you know, it's your fault? Are they doing the emotional work to fix it? Therapy, transparency, change behavior? And do they actually want to stay, or are they just scared you want to leave? Because that's a loaded question. You need to know the answer for that before you move on. Staying isn't weak, but staying without change is self-betrayal. Okay? If you're healing after cheating, block, unfollow, and delete. Yes, even their dog's Instagram, okay? Every trigger resets the trauma. Feel everything and then choose peace. You're not being too emotional. You're not being too crybaby. You're being a human. Cry, rage, scream into a pillow, and then remind yourself you didn't lose them. It's not your fault. They lost you. Don't become a detective in your next relationship. You don't want to put that onto them. Healing means learning to trust yourself again. You're not too much for asking those questions. You're too valuable to ignore red flags again, okay? And then last, if you're watching this live or back later and you're the one that cheated, you need to own it, okay? Don't trauma dump. Don't blame your childhood. Don't blame that you were drunk. Don't blame anything. Take accountability, okay? Apologize. Go to therapy and let them decide if they want to rebuild. You don't get to rush that, okay? You're the one that needs to, you know, take accountability. And if they don't want to speak to you ever again, then that was your fault, okay? I hope this live gave you guys some good, valuable information. We really appreciate it. We're going to jump on live another day this week to surprise you guys and see if we can get more of our viewers to ask us some questions. We'd love to be here for you. If you're watching this live, please send us some fire emojis. And if you're watching this back live and you found any value at all, please send us a fire emoji. Also in the comments below, please hit subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. It allows us to keep making great content for you guys. Otherwise, love you guys, and we will see you guys next time.